Today's video is going to be on the gift box hat. I tried it one time, it was a big bust. I tried it again, it was bad. The third time was a charm. It turned out very perfect. So, I'm going to go ahead and upload it on my design space, which is very busy with so much stuff here. There we go. As you see, when I ordered it, this is how it came in a bunch of pieces. So I'm going to minimize it to 25% just so I can find everything, because if some things be hiding because you can't find them. And I'm going to ungroup them. So I'm going to move these things to the side. Everything to the side. These I'm going to delete. Don't need them. And these things here, before we can even make them, we have to do some changes to these parts here. Let me group it all, make it smaller, and then go and make it bigger. Okay. So now that they are big, we'll be acting up. We have to go in here, before we can even make the hat and size it, we got to go in here and fix all these parts here. So when you click on each one, I'm going to click on. You got to click on it, you got to ungroup it. Then you click on that little line. See that line? Then you got to go up here and change it from base and cut to score, so it can score it for you. Then after you do that, you got to remember to group it and attach it. So you have to do that for every last one. If not, that line is gonna turn into a cut line, and it's gonna cut all the grooves out that you need, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you group and attach everything. And remember, make sure you get all of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna group them. I'm gonna put it on score, because that's what we want to do. We want to score it, and then we want to group and attach. And just put them on top of each other. Ungroup. Tap on that little line. Score. Now that it's score, group and attach. Done. So you gotta do that for every last one. If not, you gotta try to do it. Fold all these pieces with your hand, and that's not possible because you're not gonna get that good, you know, line down the end. So just take your time. Make sure everything says score. Make sure everything is grouped and attached. Then move it. Even these here. So even these little ones. You gotta ungroup it. Go in here. Turn it into a score. Because by me turning into a score, and I got the scoring tool for my maker, it made it very easier for all the foods. So just ungroup it and change all of them to score, and then make sure you group it and attach. I have a lot of new members in my group, so scoring is up here in the top. Scroll down, you'll see score. Oh, something happened. Only click on this part. Make sure you only click on the line. Why is not only, let me click on just the line. It gets a little tricky. Alright, now it's on the line. So now you gotta score it. See, you put that score in there, group and attach. So this is the only process that takes some time, because you gotta make sure you do every last one, or you won't be able to use the scoring tool. And then everything will be cut out. Like literally, it cuts it out. So take your time and do all those. I got one left. Ungroup it. Only click on that line we wants to score, not the whole box. You'll know when you'll see that box is in the middle. Score, group, and attach. Score, group, and attach. So I'm going to put all that over here together in one pile. Then I got all these together in one pile. And I'm going to stick it behind here along with my little dot. So now it's time to stretch it out and get the size that we want for our cut. Let me go ahead and group it so I won't lose nothing. We can always go back and ungroup it. So I think I want my hat to be 15 in height. And that's not really too big. So I'm going to be using some poster boards that I ordered from Amazon for this project. So as you can see, now that I group it, now that I'm back at 50%, I'm going to ungroup it. And then I'm going to take one of the hats out because I want to see how big it is. So it's 10 inches in wide and only 12 inches in height. That's not the size I want. So I'm going to go back in here, turn it back 50%, and then I'm going to stretch it some more because I want it at 15. Bring that piece out, check it. It's at 1465. Let's put it back. Alright, so now this hat is at 1475. Let's do one more time. Because I want a big hat. Pull out the hat. So it's at 1523, which is fine. So it's wide 12 by. So we don't want it wider than 12 by. So we're going to go and change it again and make it smaller. Because the paper is only basically 12 inches wide. So as long as the hat is that size, the rest of them is fine. Alright, so it's at 1169 by 1475. 14975. Alright, that's pretty good. So that's how I size it. And you can put it back to 100. You're not gonna see it, so you can leave it at 50% just so you can see it. It's still gonna work. So we're gonna go to make it. It said project is incompatible, so something is too big. So let's go back in and make it a little teeny bit smaller and check. Cause okay, it went away. So all I had to do is make a little teeny bit. So here is all the cuts. We're gonna use a 12 by 24. I'm using 12 by 24, and all my cuts 12 by 24. So I'm using a whole page, which is fine. And then I got all my pieces here together. Let me go and see if I can fix these things because they all at 12 by 24. I want all of them to be the same. That way I can get more on my mat at one time. Alright, see how I changed it and then I add more on there. So push continue. And I'm using the Cricut machine. So that's how I resized it and got the big size that I have for the hat that I made. So now that my machine is turned on, I can go and look for the maker. There we go. So I'll be back once I cut all these pieces out. Okay, everybody, so this is the second part of my video. I did the computer part, so this is the hat part. So this is what I came up with so far. I used pink glitter to create the head part in the front, and then I put the triangle on there, and then I add a piece of foam board inside, the styrofoam board from Dollar Tree, to make it nice and sturdy, and then I add bling all the way around the edge. So I'm going to put it together the way I do it to keep from having glues and things all over the place. You see, there's nothing on it. It's pretty much almost perfect. Like you can see a little teeny bit right there. But that's all. And you might, but you don't really see nothing there. So I'm gonna do one so you can see how I do it. So I'm using Gorilla Glue gel. That's what I'm using, Gorilla Glue gel. So I don't use no whole lot. What I'm gonna do is just put a little bit only on the top part of this edge up here, because this stuff is very strong binded. And then maybe a little dot at the bottom. So that's all I'm going to use to hold this first piece on, because I don't want to sit here and do this whole hat. So I'm going to do this piece, and then basically I'm going to try to show y'all how I did it. I'm going to wait a minute. So even it up. Evened it up nicely. Put it on there one at a time. Hold it for a few seconds until this one dry, and I'll start my next one. You see how I give you that clean look when you're using the gel? I tried it with the glue. You can't use glue, the hot glue. It just don't work. So it only take a few seconds. That piece is done. So to do the next piece, I'm going to fold the flap down. Fold this part of the flap down, and then I'm going to add, I'm going to do the same thing with the next part, because I want my thing to look nice and clean every time. And then I'm just going to add some along here, just on the edge. Dab it on the edge of it, but that's all you need. And then maybe one dot there. So that's all you need to do that next part. And so you need to take your time with this and do one piece at a time. So and then I'm going to carefully place it on there where it belongs. And then I'm going to hold it for a few seconds, making sure it dry completely before I let it go. And yes, so you got to be careful when you're using the super. It's almost like a super glue, but it's a Gorilla Glue type of thing. And that's how I get my clean look for my hat, just by doing it this way. So I made the Steelers hat for hubby. So I'm making the girl themed hat for myself. So you only have to hold it for a few seconds, and it's done. And see how nice it is? So I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Just add some glue along the top of it in that little space. Make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. Just add a little bit of glue along that seam at the bottom. Right there, only on the top of it. Just a teeny bit. Wipe off the excess. Stay close to the line. And then add another bottom piece down there, because this part on the top now has an angle. So being that it has an angle, you're going to make sure that you stay close to that angle. So then you got to bend it some, and then you just hold it in place. So now that part is done. So now you get the clean look. And this is the part that goes on top. So I got one piece left, and I'm going to put the last piece on off camera, and then I'm going to start the top part of the hat. So this part is all done. It's nice and neat. I took my time with it. There's no glue. My tape got stuck and I didn't want to pull it off, so I'm going to leave it there. And my piece is all perfect and my insides look pretty good. So I'm going to put that on my base. And that'll go on top of my hat. Like this. So I'm just making this for myself. And that'll be the top part of my hat. So I'm gonna use hot glue for this part. Just a little hot glue. And I'm gonna stick this hat in the right space so that the top part will be easier to put on there. That's gonna be pretty nice, huh? So just go all the way around. Make sure I have it where I want it. Add me a little glue all the way around. So add it. Keep it in place. Just stick a little glue under there. I was determined not to let this get to me. And I was going to do it. And I did it. And my last piece to put together here. Look how nice and sturdy this is. I'm using 100-pound, well actually it's a poster board that I ordered from Amazon. Heavy duty poster board. I had to use a knife blade that comes with the Cricut Maker to put this together. A knife blade. That's how thick this was. This material is so thick it should last a long time. But I had to use a knife blade with it. So take out the inside. There you go. Right? See how nice and sturdy it is? So now I need to make the hat for the outside. And I'm going to start putting that together. I'm going to start putting this together. And I'm going to put it together the same way. But I'm going to take my time and only do maybe 2 at a time. So I'm only going to put it close to the top of this edge. Not a glob of it. Because you don't need that much. Because this is paper. And I'm only putting it close to the edge. And I'm going to take my time and put it together. And then hold it. Hold it in place to create that good perfect edge. And then once that's dry, then I can start on to the next one. See, I'm gonna take a few seconds and it's done. So I'm just gonna go in here, pull these flaps down, and I'm gonna start my next one by just adding glue on the edges, just like that. Because now that I got the foundation, that first part, the rest is easy. And I'm only gonna do 2. Let me see if I can do 3 this time. So I'm doing 3 this time. I put glue in 3 spots, see? So I'm gonna sit here, fold it around like it's supposed to be, making sure it's all even. And I'm gonna hold it together from the inside. To make sure I create my perfect edges, because I don't want no glue on the outside. You see that? So they say thank you for finding my channel. My Facebook group is Crafting Together as One. Please take time and just push that subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Hey, I'm trying to get 100,000 subscribers so I can get me a plaque like Charmaine, because she the bomb. Just hold it for a few seconds because that one was loose. Charmaine Galloway, if you see my video, I'm trying to get me 100,000 subscribers and a plaque like you. I sure am. So I got that piece on. And I'm just going to go around and keep adding until I get all my pieces together. And then I'll be done. It takes time. You gotta be patient because you don't want to rush it dry. You just gotta be patient. Try not to use too much glue because you don't want to get stuck on your hand. All right, so I'm gonna put most of these together, and then I'll be back. There's the inside. That's the last little piece. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put glue on this line on top and not on the pointy parts. So my hat is pretty much done. If you see it, it's not so bad. It's actually pretty good. Most people's hats are black. I'm gonna decorate the hat, but not on video. But before I do anything with the hat, I want to clean up the hat. Clean it up some. I made a mistake and cut 2 circles out, but it's okay. It's for my own self. So, because it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Everything's together. But you see these little nicks and spots? I'm not happy with that. So what I have here, some black acrylic paint. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over my hat with this paint. And like TikTok says, they will never know. So that's how I got that clean look on my Steelers hat. I'm going to show you a picture of my Steelers hat. How I got that clean look. Like I didn't make any mistakes. I didn't make any mistakes, but I did get some of that gel glue on it. But it's not as bad as putting. And just add a little paint to it. It's going to dry. And when it dry, nobody would never know that you went over it with some black. To make the color not only darker, not only the color will become darker, but it'll make the hat look better. So that's what I did to my hat. Cleaned it up by adding some paint to it. And once it dries, it's going to look very professional and neat and no problems at all. But I'm still going to decorate it, but I want it cleaned up first because I don't want that glue to show before I actually put my decorations on and then show y'all what the ending look like. So my challenge that they gave me is to do this hat. I did it. So I'm going to continue to paint it. So this is the hat that I made for my husband. And I gave it to him for Valentine's. See how that clean look after I painted it. And I add my sticker paper to it. And had a clean look to it. Now my measurements for my hat was freaking huge. I didn't remember the measurements for this hat. So I said, well, I'm going to make a big giant one. Look how huge this hat is. This thing is freaking big. Really big compared to this one. See the difference? This is huge. But, like I said, it's for video purpose. It fits nicely. I gotta add the piece on the top. The paint is still, I'm gonna put some bling on it, bling it out, add some little designs in the front, and I'll be done. But I think it turned out pretty good. The styrofoam board makes it nice and sturdy. The hat is actually nice and sturdy. It's not dry yet. I'm gonna leave it on there until it gets dry and finish adding everything else that I need to do to it. I hope y'all like my video. I hope it did good. And y'all like my video. Might put some of this extra glue. I don't want it to look clumpy. Alright, I'm going to finish decorating this. And then I'm going to show y'all what it looked like. So I took out some of this glitter paper I got from Dollar Tree. And I cut the edges off of it. And I'm going to stick it to the top of my hat. And I'm going to glue it down. And I'm going to add some bling to change the whole hat. See? So I'm going to continue on with my video. You can watch the videos. The part that y'all need to know is pretty much over. I'm going to decorate my hat now. Add some bling to it. Because I like to be different. I always try to be different from everybody else. See how it's coming along? I had to cut some more pieces out. I love creating stuff. So much fun when you create things and try to make them different from everybody else's. That's the whole fun about it. Let me do something different. I don't want to be like everybody else. almost finished with some of my decoration. I'm going to put this last piece on. And then I'll post this video for my group crafting together as one. And I hope y'all like it as well. It's turned out to look really nice, but this is a freaking huge hat. It's really big. I didn't think I was making it that big when I sized it. But you can't really determine what your size is until after you make the hat. Because they can come out all different sizes. Alright. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it after this point. But I'm going to figure it out. Now that I got the glitter down, that glitter paper at the bottom, do not match the glitter paper at the top. So I'll probably just go back in the Cricut, cut another piece out of the Dollar Tree paper, and put it on top of there. See how they don't match? So I'm going to do something with the bottom to bring out the rest of the hat, and then add something on here. And then put something on the top. There you go. So this is pretty much all what I'm going to do with it for right now. I'm going to leave it like that. Probably add some gems on it because I got a little crease right there. I should never have cut that out, but that's fine. I did it. I did pretty good. I'm gonna